You can now purchase the regular dual motor Model Y refreshed for 2025-2026. Dramatically improved. So everything that you probably wanted, you can expect they did that. Why is this a big deal? Before this week, you could only purchase the Launch Series Model Y, 60 grand, fully loaded with all the options. You can now purchase the dual motor Model Y for around $41,000. And I just drove this car, and I'm gonna give you my first impressions and compare what are the differences between the Launch Series and the new regular dual motor Model Y. So here is the Model Y dual motor without the Launch Series badge. It just came available this week for test drives. So why consider the Tesla Model Y? Well, for one, it was the best-selling passenger vehicle in the world in 2023 and 2024. I'm gonna show you in this video many of the features and the driving characteristics and why this vehicle is so popular. With the gas savings and almost no maintenance, the total cost of ownership is very low. So if you're new to electric vehicles, starting at around $40,000, you can see that the value is incredible, especially if you do a lot of driving. The Launch Series starts at about 60 grand and it's fully loaded with full self-driving and pretty much all the features. You could select your any color paint, any color seats, and any wheels. I think that's about all the options. There's not a lot of options.
Now turn left onto Creekside Road.
But comes pretty much fully loaded. So this one is the first time they're offering the new Model Y refreshed for 2025 and 2026 as a non-launch. If you don't want those extra features, starting at about $41,000. So I'm going to compare the differences and see if there's much benefit to getting the Launch Series. The main benefit with the Launch Series is full self-driving is included. So if you do not plan on purchasing full self-driving, or you don't want to spend $8,000, or maybe you don't plan to keep your Model Y for many years to recover that cost, then the non-Launch Series might be a good option. Here we go for a launch in the non-Launch Series. Okay, so it pretty much feels like my 2022 Model Y, the older version. This is dual motor without the acceleration boost, and the Launch Series includes the acceleration boost. So the non-launch, I believe, is 0 to 60.
In 500 feet, turn right onto McBean Parkway.
0 to 60 in 4.5, I believe. No, probably 4.6 for the regular dual motor, which should be what this one is rated at. And the Launch Series, I believe, is 4.1, so half a second faster. I'm in Valencia, not Spain, Valencia, California, and there's a relatively new service center here for the Santa Clarita, Palmdale, Lancaster areas. So I just want to see how's the driving dynamics compared to the Launch Series. Now, the regular dual motor Model Y, man, it has tons of power. Like, you really don't need any more power than this. The speed boost is really not necessary unless you are just you want the, one of the fastest cars on the road. The dual motor is already really fast, and in most cases you won't ever floor it because it's just so much power. So just keep that in mind. Dual motor is already super quick. If you've never driven a Tesla or owned a Tesla, any of the dual motor Teslas are super quick. Now the performance vehicles, or the ones with the acceleration boost software upgrade, those are extremely quick. And then of course the performance model is just that's basically a track car. Like, you don't need that on your day-to-day. It's you know, some people argue, you know, they want that on their daily driver, but you know, depending on where you live, most of the time you're not even gonna be able to push the pedal more than halfway. So keep that in mind. Dual motor is plenty of power for most, and they don't have a single motor version of this vehicle out yet. So if you're just looking for the most affordable option, you could wait for the single motor, and that'll probably be fine. If if you're new to electric vehicles, even the single motor versions are usually pretty peppy. So here's another green light. Let's check it out. Model Y is a little bigger, a little heavier, so the Model 3 definitely gives you a bit of a faster, a quicker start off the line. Just because Model Y is, you know, bigger, heavier car, and I think they just design it that way. If you want the Model 3, the more sporty vehicle, the more sporty sedan, then Model 3 is for you. I prefer the Model 3, but the Model Y, especially this refreshed version, this is an incredible daily driver. Still plenty sporty. The one thing I would say with the refresh version is the steering ratio is slower than the outgoing Model Y. So the outgoing Model Y is 9-to-1 steering ratio, and this is 10-to-1. So it's a little slower of a steering. So one of the things Teslas are known for is really direct and quick steering. So it kind of feels like you're driving a golf cart, a go-kart, where anywhere you move the wheel, just the car instantly goes there. Whereas the newer refreshed Model Y, it's a little more slow and kind of feels more luxurious. I'm guessing when they come out with the performance model, they'll go back to the 9-to-1 steering ratio, and for that one to make it more of a sporty feel. But for most people, that won't be a big deal. But just keep that in mind. You might enjoy the more direct, quicker steering of the outgoing 2024 Model Y. If you're one of those people that drives really aggressive, or you just want that real sporty feel. But you know, the big drawback to the outgoing Model Y is that it was harsh. It was harsh on the bumps, and it was great at cornering and that type of thing, but just over bumps, over rough roads, it was not ideal. And that a little bit of wheel spin there on the corner. Tend to slide a bit on the corners, and I don't know if it's the more comfortable tires, which would kind of make sense, more focus on comfort versus performance, but I think our 2022 Model Y would handle that corner a little bit better in terms of gripping the road. But you know, you can always change your tires. That's one thing. Tires make a big difference, just making little changes. So from a rolling start, there's plenty of power. I would say you don't need that acceleration boost. But if you want the full power, if you want to beat Camaros or whatever's on the road, then you know, might be worth it to you. Here's some slightly rougher roads. Now the big difference with the suspension on the new Model Y is that the bumps are not harsh, so you'll still feel them. It's not like driving a luxury vehicle. It's not like driving a Mercedes S-Class or something. You're still gonna feel the bumps, but they're not harsh. So like in the outgoing Model Y, any little bump, you would feel it, and you know, speed bumps, rough roads, it would really kind of vibrate throughout the car, or just shake the whole car, especially going into like a parking lot, from the road, going up that elevated section. It would just be uncomfortable. So the new suspension and the new tires, they really make a big difference where it just feels comfortable. And it's super quiet inside. Of course, this is the same as the launch series, very quiet inside. So if you have an old Model Y and you're looking to upgrade, your reasons for upgrading are more comfort related, then it's definitely worth it. If you're upgrading for performance or you know, something else, I would say that just depends, because it's mostly the same car. I mean, the interior's fully redesigned, so it's a great interior, very similar to the Model 3 refresh that was done in 2024. But it's pretty much, I would say the main benefits of the Model Y refresh is quieter interior, redesigned exterior. So if you don't like that kind of bubbly look, you want the more aggressive look with a light bar and everything. And the other thing is just the comfort. The suspension and the ride comfort is dramatically improved. Not just slightly, but dramatically. So everything that you probably wanted if you had an old Model Y in terms of suspension, you can expect that they did that. The old Model Y, you would also, over the bumps, you get this kind of reverberation, this kind of boomy sound, especially in the back of the car, and that's all gone. So it's just an amazing car to drive. Highly recommend it. A great value. I would recommend this to pretty much anyone that only needs a 5-seater and does not care about the handling and cornering characteristics of the Model 3. In fact, I probably enjoy driving this more than the Model X, which is the more expensive car. So unless you need the room of the Model X, this one's just smaller, it's more nimble, it's just really fun to drive. The Model X just feels like a bigger car, and but if you need a bigger car, Model X is great. Now in terms of interior compared to the launch series, it's pretty much the same, except, well, even this fabric here, I believe, is the same fabric. This little mesh grille is the same. The only difference is it doesn't say launch series here, and on the door sills it doesn't say launch series. But I haven't noticed any other differences. By the way, we don't have our interior lighting on. There we go. They added the blinker stock, since I guess there was a lot of feedback that a lot of people just really wanted the blinker stock, but you still don't have a gear shifter. So that's one disadvantage. If you like the gear shifter in the old Model Y, then you're gonna be missing that here. Personally, I don't miss the gear shifter. It's pretty easy on the screen to just swipe up and swipe down to go forward and backwards, press to park. So I think you get used to it pretty quick, but you know, maybe depending on what generation you're from, that might be a disappointment for you. Although there is companies that make aftermarket stocks that you can always add on. Now I want to try the full self-driving. Let me see if I can do that. Here's how you shift, reverse. Oh, I was going the wrong way. Beautiful cameras. Oh, and by the way, there is a front camera now. If you swipe down this way, there's the front camera. It also has a washer. You can wash it here. That's super cool. But yeah, all these cameras are amazing. So let's park and let's see about the full self-driving. Let's see, now autopilot. Here we go. Autopilot, full self-driving. Okay, so if I hit the brake, it should take me into full self-driving. Okay, let's do it. Okay, so cool thing is, before you would have to use the stock to start full self-driving. Now it gives you a little button on the screen. So I'm not touching anything. I'm not touching the wheel, I'm not touching the brake or the accelerator, and I can start in full self-driving. Press and hold, it says. And there we go. It's gonna hopefully take me onto the street. Oh, tap brake to confirm. And there we go, there's a car coming. Now there's no cars. You can see here in the camera. We're on the road. Okay, we're gonna yield to this Porsche, classic Porsche. Shout out to my brother-in-law that loves Porsches. We're actually gonna drive just past the Porsche dealership here. So with full self-driving, you still have to pay attention. There's a camera right up here, right above the rearview mirror, that gives you.
Feet, turn right onto Valencia Boulevard.
It monitors you, your body language, your eyes. So if you try to not pay attention, it
right
will. It'll kick you out of full self-driving. And if you do pay attention, you don't have to touch the wheel, you don't have to touch the accelerator or anything. You can just you can just watch the car drive. But if you like try to sleep, you try to like go on your phone, it will kick you off. So that's how it allows you to just relax here, watching it drive, because it is making sure you're at least paying attention. Now we have a Porsche dealership here and a bunch of people. You can see some of them on the screen over on that corner and the other corner just hanging out. I don't know if there's an official car show or just people that are just wandering around, but a lot of people back there on the side of the street, and I think the cops are trying to get people to chill out so nobody causes any crashes. Okay, so we got right away, but pedestrians, it's waiting for the pedestrians here. Okay, and we're going. Very nice. Oh, I forgot to check what version we're on.
Now turn right onto Magic Mountain Parkway.
I'll check at the end of this drive what version this is. So we're at the red light, waiting to yield. A lot of traffic coming. Pedestrians waiting to cross. I think we might have a break in the traffic. Yep, pedestrians are waiting. Very nice. It's gotten really good here on version 13, where people say that it could drive for over an hour in LA traffic and no issues on really complex streets and intersections and freeway, and it's pretty amazing. It's come a long way since I first got my first Tesla in 2018. Just had regular autopilot, and it was a little scary going around the curves on the freeway, but it's a whole different way they've done the software. It's basically trained to drive on videos from actual humans and neural networks, and it's pretty complicated. So it does some things you would not expect in a good way. Basically, it doesn't just try to keep you in the lane, but it actually drives like a human. Like, if it's more convenient to cross over the lane to turn, it will do it. Gonna do a U-turn here, so let's see the turning radius. Try to crank it as far as possible. From what I remember, I think the turning radius has slightly improved from the outgoing Model Y. So our full self-driving is 13.2.8. Here we go. Okay, I'm just barely over the line, well, halfway over the line on the first lane, so that was pretty impressive, I think. And one of the nice things about the dual motor power, it's easy to get around people. So we'll just quickly merge over to the other lane. Music. Now if you're not paying attention at the light, it will beep at you. So that's a great feature of all the new Teslas. When it goes green, it beeps at you. Got some Tesla supporters out here. That's really cool. That's how you shift, swipe back or swipe forward. You can easily see your curbs here in the cameras. Makes parking great. Actually, it can AutoPark. Should try that. See if it will AutoPark for us. So it gives you options here on the screen where you want to park. So I'm gonna say I want to park here, start, and it should park. Let's see if it does as good of a job as I was doing. And I'm gonna just keep an eye on it just in case. I kind of didn't give it a great starting spot, but I think it did great. Amazing technology. So here's your differences of the regular dual motor versus the Launch Series. Exterior is totally the same depending on which wheels you decide on, except we have the dual motor badge on the regular dual motor without the Launch Series badge. Everything else is the same. Same trim, same features. For the interior, you have the same, as far as I can tell. I'm not sure about this piece though. This is kind of like a soft touch, but I wonder if this piece is different in the Launch Series. I'll have to go back and check out my videos. But this insert here is a nice soft, I think Alcantara. A nice fabric here. The same speaker grill. All the same buttons and features. The same seats. This one has black seats, but you will be able to get it in white. So the main difference is the console here would say Launch Series. This one's has nothing. And the dash over here would also say Launch Series. And the door sill would say Launch Series. But in terms of all the features you get, I believe it's pretty much the same. Mostly the same interior. It's more just cosmetic, and then you get the speed boost and full self-driving and any wheels and other options included. So these are the 20-inch wheels that you pay extra for. So these are the 19-inch wheels. These are removable covers, whereas the 20-inch are just aluminum alloy wheels. These aren't bad. And underneath they have like a 5-spoke pattern. So this is actually a launch series. You can see the launch series badge. All the other exterior is the same. So if you're ready to order, you can use my referral code. It'll be pinned in the comments and linked in the video description. And let me know, do you have a Model Y? Are you planning to upgrade? Will this be your first Tesla? And let me know if you have any questions. I've driven every Tesla, so I can give you some suggestions on Model 3 versus Y, S versus X, Cybertruck. Whatever questions you have, I can probably answer them. In the largest car show in Arizona, there's even helicopters. Feels like we're in the Tron movie. Crazy, there's a sandstorm.